You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously and conscientiously to the Joy of Living podcast with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. It's the ambassador of joy. And you know, in this show, we discuss the three fundamentals of life. That's why you tuned in. And when you utilize these three fundamentals of life, the result is you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? Now, of course, right now you're being joined by approximately 506,822 people around the world. And by the time we bring on our amazing, wonderful guest, Tricia, there'll be over 509,000, maybe 515,000, because you're always urging your family and friends to join the show. And we're just so honored and humbled to do that. Remember, share this with 5 people. You want to share with 50 or 100, it's up to you, but at least 5, so we can touch millions around the world. And love us, not just like us, love us on Spotify and Apple. And remember the 3 fundamentals of life. Number 1 is life. Your life has purpose. When you lead a purpose-driven life, number 2 happens. There's a good number 2. You go MAD. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. Lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the 3rd is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example, the show is carried over the internet. If you ask anybody, what does www stand for? They'll tell you it has to do with the internet. Factually speaking, they're correct. However, in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, www stands for what a wonderful world. And of course, a tip of the hat to Louis Armstrong Satchel for enabling that song, What a Wonderful World, to go viral, not just touch tens of millions, or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet. Whenever you hear the opening bars of what a wonderful world, what do you do right away? You can't help but smile. Now, smile is one of the most important words you're going to internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life, because smile stands for seeing miracles in life every day. That's right, seeing miracles in life every day. So I got to tell you, I'm privileged to speak to people on the internet every week and in person. Recently, I spoke to a group of 1,172 people, and I'm telling the story about Barry Shore and about seeing miracles in life every day. Some people raise their hands and say, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours, I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. Do you have water, drink? Do you have food? Do you have a place to sleep? Do you have family, your friends? Every single one of those is a miracle. What's the proof? Simple proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're watching or you're listening, it means you have an obligation to live life to the full, to live life exuberantly. Let me tell you a quick story. It's about me. Now imagine, if you can, I'm standing up in the morning, completely healthy and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And in the evening, I'm in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed, my neck down. And it was not from a spinal injury. It was not an automobile accident. It was a rare disease which I never heard of the day before, took over my body and rendered me what's called a quadriplegic. Nothing in the body moved. I could only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in the hospital. I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home and couldn't move. 4 years in a wheelchair, braces on both my legs, my hips, my ankles. That was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. I can't walk up a stair by myself, can't walk up a curb by myself. I have health 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, but you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant, all because of one word. Smile. Now I got to tell you a quick story though. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me a few weeks ago and says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile? S-M-I-E-L. I thought about it. Smile, smile, sounds the same. Why not? I asked her how come. She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life out of the mouth of an 8-year-old. But what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a wonderful acronym that stands for causing, rethinking, enabling all to excel. You're going to learn about that from wonderful Tricia. So we talked about, we call that a shift in perspective. Now, I got to tell you something. I'm working with people for more than 4.5 decades. And when they first come to me, even though they look great on paper, they have dropped the F in shift in their lives, and the other stuff happens. You got to keep your F's in place. You want to shift your perspective a little bit, and then you can internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will determine your path and your trajectory in life. Now, before we bring on wonderful Tricia, I got to warn her and other people, you're new to the show, I do use a lot of 4-letter words. I even use the 4-letter FU word, and I do it for the shock value, and it's fun. Now, of course, the 4-letter words we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, are love, life, hope, play, free, gift, swim. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun, that's right. F-U, capital N, capital N. Now, by the way, some people raise their hand and say, Barry, sure, fun's only spelled with 3 letters. Not in our world. The world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after this show, when you see your family and friends, I want you to point your finger, have a twinkle in your eye, a smile on your face, say, F-U, everybody. Remember to add right away capital N, capital N. So you got their attention. You say, where'd you get that? Said Mr. Barry Shore. He had on amazing Tricia. Wait till you hear what I learned today. Now, before we bring on wonderful, amazing Tricia, I want everybody to use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day. From now and the rest of your life, you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. And these 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. To harmonize and nurture kindness. Kind is a wonderful word that stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. I can't think of anybody that inspires noble deeds more than wonderful, amazing, fabulous Tricia Benn. Tricia, please say hello to 511,917 people around the world. Oh, you're a mute. We can't hear you.
But I was singing so beautifully, Barry. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, where everyone is in the world that's listening right now. And thank you so much, Barry. It is a delight to be here with you right now.
Well, that's exactly where we're going to go, because you are liked, L-I-G-H-T. There's nobody more bright, more beneficial, more bountiful, munificent, magnificent than wonderful Tricia. Now, if I started reading to you all of the information about Tricia, will take the rest of the show. I'm going to give you 3 data points. Everything you want to know about her is in the show notes. Don't take notes. Just lean and experience her. Everything's in the show notes, but you got to know 3 things. Number 1, she is the CEO of one of the most dynamic, powerful, positive, purposeful, business-oriented platforms in the world. Primarily in the United States, but in the world. It's called C-Suite. And it's for C-Suite members. And it's also about being a hero in business. And it's also about the fact that Tricia is highly accomplished. Everything that she's involved in succeeds. You know why? Because she's a winner. It's very simple. And she does it with wit and aplomb. How do you like that? So without further ado, I'm going to ask you, Tricia, let's just jump right in and talk about something that really is part and parcel of your world, what you've been able to accomplish for the past few decades, and you must have started when you were 16, past few decades in bringing benefit to everybody. So let's talk about mission and alignment. How do you align mission for so many people?
You know, mission to me ties into everything you just shared, Barry. All of it matters. And if you are creating that purpose, that environment where people understood they're appreciated, they're valued, they're loved, I love the 4-letter words. I love the 4-letter words. And if you're doing it right, you're going to have fun too. And it's not that there aren't challenging moments. There are things that don't look pretty, that aren't graceful. And we try to be gracious, but graceful, that can be not so pretty at times when we're building businesses and we're supporting each other through those sort of things that we can't control, things that, that aren't the great, the great moment. But even then, there's so much that you can gain from that as a team and as a human, that all of it, again, just comes back to that mission of what do you want to be able to accomplish? And I can't, for me personally, I don't know that I could get up in the morning if I didn't understand that I'm part of so many really important missions.
So let's talk about the idea of getting up in the morning, which, by the way, in and of itself is wonderful.
Yes.
Getting up in the morning with purpose, with mission alignment. So I'm going to ask you, put you on the spot, wonderful Tricia. What is the mission of C-Suite and you personally?
They are so wonderfully aligned, Barry. I am grateful every day. So the mission is just to see great business leaders succeed. That's the simplest way I can put it. See great people succeed. And why is that so important? It's so important because when great people succeed in business, they create sustainable business models to deliver success to their communities. And so it truly is that infinity of greatness going out into the world and a sustainable model to keep it happening. And that's that infinity can be created with great people. It cannot be created with greed, corruption, and the things that are soul killing that we're invited in to put energy into in various ways in our lives.
Yeah, I would like to use that jumping off point for something remarkable you said. And that is, when people think of the C word, capitalism, they think, unfortunately, especially younger people, and you should know that the people that are on listening to this podcast, 90% of them are under the age of 35. They're all over the world. They love America. They love what America stands for, which is independence, the ability to have opportunity. And it's a capitalist-run company. Unfortunately, sprinkled in there, either because of where they live and because of the unfortunate circumstance of misunderstanding, the words greed and rapaciousness and the idea of getting for me becomes equated with capitalism. And I think that that is the opposite of how you think, how you act, and what C-Suite is about. Is that correct?
It is exactly the opposite. And thanks to Jeffrey Hazlett, our chairman and founder, in his original vision, we acquired the Hero Club back in 2016 from Rob Ryan. He created his business from the ground up, sold it for well over $20 billion, and shared with every single employee when it was sold. And that made more millionaires than has ever been created in one private business sale. And with that, Jeffrey wrote the Hero Factor book. And the Hero Factor is all about, and we acquired the Hero Club because Rob Ryan knew we would house these two critical missions of the Hero Club. One, support business leaders that will do the right thing by their communities and see them succeed. And that by far is the majority of us. We pay our teams when we don't take pay. We invest and we sponsor local community activities and all kinds of things that are happening across our communities, et cetera. There's so much. I could go on and on about that. The other piece of that mission, the second part, is to let people know about that, because what we do hear about in the news and what we do see regularly is the other pieces, the corruption, the greed, the not serving. And that is unfortunately what gets news. The fact that there are so many incredible business leaders, and I can say from the smallest startup businesses to the largest billions of dollar companies, this is true. There are great leaders doing great things, and they're seeing that success. And we just want to see them succeed faster, bigger, more, because that impact is immeasurable. And bring more into that kind of support, and be in a space, very frankly, where you can use words like your 4-letter words and not and understand the power of them. And I love, you said power. We have the choice. We have the choice to create real success, real impact. And there's no more effective way to do that than great business.
First of all, now you understand. Again, I urge everybody, don't take notes. It's all here. The reason we do this is recorded so you can go back and listen again, which I urge everybody to do. A second time of listening to Tricia, and you can pause, take notes and such, and then listen a third time, because then it will really come in. Because what she's doing here is she's giving you a vision of the world that is true, that works, that everybody wins. The beauty of the word team, another 4-letter word, together everyone achieves miracles, not just more, miracles. That's the genius of the C-suite world and the C-suite network, which I love and am part of, because everything about them is, how do we help others succeed? When you're working with others, that's when you become your most successful. Tricia, you talk about the hero's journey. What is a hero?
So, a very interesting question. And I have a number of veterans in the Hero Club. So first, I want to thank our veterans for their contributions. And I don't mean that as a virtue signal. I mean that literally, because a hero is someone who doesn't come back. And there's nothing fun about that. That's very serious. And I'm so grateful for that entire commitment. So the Hero Club, in terms of business, and certainly the organization that we run, that's about putting others first. It's about putting humans first. It's creating real success. It's and I'll joke, we're aspiring to be heroes. Every day we've got our cape ready, and we want to be able to deliver incredible success and impact with our success. And so a hero really truly is somebody who's putting people ahead of profits. And of course, all the data, Barry. You put humans ahead of profits, and the next thing you know, you are more profitable, you are more sustainable, and people are loving what they're doing and who they're working with, and seeing greater and greater success and impact. And that's what we're all about.
And by the way, the genius of what Tricia is saying, remember, she's the CEO. What happens in the C-suite begins with her. So it's her vision, her drive, that enables literally tens of thousands of people to be energized by what Tricia's thinking and doing. Her every word makes a difference to a lot of people. That's why you're privileged to be having the opportunity to listen to her today and understand what C-suite is all about, because it's the tip of the spear of the capitalist world. You see, we call it C-suite. People think corporate. It's really capitalism. Capitalism, or conscious capitalism, which is what everybody in our world practices. Conscious capitalism is, I'm here to serve. Now, you mentioned, again, we'll talk about veterans and not virtual signaling. Truly the understanding of people who have put their lives on the line, many of them not coming back. People who are willing to dedicate their time, their effort, their energy to protect the most valuable country in the world. Because America stands for opportunity. It is the land where people can aspire. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, what your education is. There are many people who are, in quotation marks, uneducated, who succeed wildly in business. Why? Because, again, they're using the principles that Tricia is articulating. Is that right?
I couldn't agree with that more, Barry. And they're serving a need in the market or in their communities that they're recognizing, and then able to capitalize on that. And then the key is how they're investing back into the community. And the other thing I think is really important, because I'm talking about these values. I'm talking about a vision and a mission and things that matter, things that really motivate us to do something out of the ordinary to understand how important we all are in delivering on that mission. That needs to be aligned with the action that is going to deliver the promise. And that's been quite an interesting thing to be able to share with people. You mentioned I'm the CEO. I have to pull those two pieces together. Otherwise, I just have a really nice talking track. So, right? So
let's do this. Let's put you in pause because everybody wants to hear what you do and how you put it together. We have sponsors. That's a capitalist system. And we wouldn't have these sponsors if we didn't think they were worthy of your time and attention. So you're going to have more Tricia right after this brief message. Don't go away. She is so wonderful. For her, C stands for charming. Be right back after this brief message. Don't go away.
Hello, skincare connoisseurs. If you think you have tried everything in skincare, you are going to love what I am about to tell you. I'm pharmacist Benjamin I. Fuchs. I'm a dermatology pharmacist. And what I've discovered in my compounding pharmacy after decades of working with patients with skin traumas and skin diseases is the missing link in skincare is topical essential nutrition. And because of this missing link, we're not maximizing the potential of topical skincare. We're leaving skin beauty and skin health on the table. And that's why I formulated my Truth Treatments. Listen, the skin's an organ. It needs and wants and craves nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, and plant-derived minerals, and now it can get them in super high concentrations in my Truth Treatments. Originally formulated for dermatologists and their patients, now they're available to you. Check them out today at truthtreatments.com, and I know you are going to love the truth.
Good day. Beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good looking for me. Good looking, she's always looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. Her name is Tricia Benn. She's the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of one of the most remarkable organizations in the entire world, mostly in the United States, C-Suite Network. And it's where people who are involved in success are gathering together as they understand that everybody is there for everybody else. We were just talking about your vision as the CEO and pulling everything together and making sure that you are not just a pretty face, but you are the ability to make things happen. So let's just jump right in and talk about what does it mean to be transformational in this world where everything is just running so fast. How do you transform stuff, Tricia?
Transformation, this is such an interesting topic, Barry. And I think at the end of the day, the focus on transformation, change, disruption, those words immediately are anxiety provoking for people, most people. What I hear when I hear those words is an opportunity to deliver on a mission and get rid of the things that don't work. And so I have a completely different reaction where when something's super disruptive or there's an opportunity for real change, that's exciting. That means there's an opportunity that nobody has seen yet. That means there are ways of getting things done that maybe you couldn't get done before, but they're the right things to do. And that is so important. So when you know, and we all do, in your industry, in your company, in your community, there are things that are done that we know are wrong, just flat out wrong. They may even be illegal. They may be unethical. They may be immoral, or they may just be wrong or inefficient, which is still wrong, or not really serving as best it could, or not doing that profitably enough so more could be done, more people can be served. So there's an opportunity that is very exciting to grasp hold of. And during COVID, which is the most dramatic example I've had in my decades of being in business, what I shared with everybody, and Barry, you'll appreciate this so much. I know you will. I had my hands demonstrating because things were happening so quickly during COVID. I had to help people and reassure people that there was opportunity here. And that wasn't just externally, that was internally. I had my team going from a predominantly in-person event business to bring people in and to nurture people in the whole C-suite community. 120 events, most of them in person. All of that had to be moved digital, and we had to build out our whole digital ecosystem like that. March 13th, 2020 to March 16th, 2020. Not quite enough time to build a whole ecosystem. Having said that, I needed everything moving very quickly, and I wanted to share what I was doing internally to help with the framing externally. So I had my hands, and if you think of a hockey stick, you know, going from the bottom at the left to the top on the right, I had one hand sort of doing a scallop motion upwards, and I had the other hand sort of doing a scallop motion catching up. And what I was saying is, we have to innovate. This is a massive disruption for everyone in the world. We've got to innovate. In order to innovate, we've got to have new ideas pulling us up, pulling us up, pulling us up. And then what we have to do is figure out what's working very quickly. So no emotional attachment with anything that's not working right now. Just drop it. Great. We know that doesn't work right now. We probably have a good idea why it doesn't work right now, but drop it. And then the top hand, that's our operational team. Our operational team is going to come in and fill in what we need from an operational structure perspective to be able to support the innovations that we're finding are working with our BD team, with our executive team, and so on. So you have this, okay, we're going to be moving together quickly, and anything that doesn't work, we drop it. We just keep moving because we need to know what the operations team needs to fill in for.
I want to put you on pause for a moment because, again, the genius of this, it's being recorded. You can come back and listen again and pause where you want, because what you have just been given here is a PhD in business. The genius of the capitalist system is that you can move quickly. Things that are not good, they're wrong because they're inefficient, can be dropped. Now, that may mean that people have to be moved around, fired, shipped, lots of stuff's going on. However, the system works to create the benefit for the organization. The organization must succeed. I was just listening, as you said, March 13th and March 16th. We call that the Ides of March. You know, when Julius Caesar was assassinated, he was worried about the Ides of March. You just articulated the Ides of March. The whole thing just flew apart in 1 year, in 2020, and you went from an event-based business to a virtual business.
Yes.
And if you didn't drop the things that weren't working, if you couldn't, A, identify them, B, act upon that, and C, innovate, there would not be a discussion with you today.
Exactly. And that is, you know, they say you haven't lived if you don't know how you're going to make payroll next week. That is that moment for all of us in business when there's that kind of massive disruption. And the fact of the matter is, we need to bring our experience to bear to say this is going to work just fine. But what we need to do is essentially we need to be very, very agile, and we need to not be emotionally attached to things that don't work. And the thing is, then the magic of that is, oh my goodness, everybody knows what they're doing. They know what the mission is. They know what the ultimate vision is in terms of the difference we're going to make in people's lives. And now they know how they're going to be able to succeed moving things forward. It's not going to be, oh my goodness, you failed at that. Great news. We know that doesn't work. What's the next thing we're trying? What's the next thing we're trying? What's the next thing we're trying? And that's where we're moving people forward. The interesting balance is, how do you create that urgency in the everyday when there isn't a crisis happening? And again, that's the constant. I always use a Rubik's Cube, Barry, as a model. When you get one side right on a Rubik's Cube, what happens?
The other sides are off.
Right. But then you have to mess up the first side to get two sides right. You can't get two sides right without messing up the first side again. So it's constantly in flux. And that's something that as leaders, we can embrace and take advantage of. If the pendulum is going to swing, how do we take maximum advantage of that swing to increase and our productivity, our efficiency, our delivery against our mission and vision for the organization.
I want to use another T word that I think is endemic to the genius of capitalism and to what you and Jeffrey are doing, and Carl, specifically with C-suite. And it's the T word, trust. Because you can have a great team. Together, everyone achieves miracles. You have a vision, you have a mission. You need the glue that binds. And it needs to be glue that's flexible. And you can move, like you say, you can shape. Well, we got the first part right. Oh, we're going to break it, be able to get the other pieces right. And we're breaking it purposely, like a doctor fixing a broken bone. You need to sometimes break that bone in the right way to be able to put it back together again. That comes down to trust. The team needs to trust each other. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say. And here's the interesting thing. Your team is anyone who's aligned on your mission. It's not people you pay. It's anyone who's aligned on your mission. And recently, we've made some very large announcements about the New York Stock Exchange also being distributing all of their content across the C-Suite Network platform. And what they said on our partner day with the big announcements is that the future currency is trust. And that's been our tagline since the beginning, Barry, the most trusted network. And that's what you want to be building in the everyday. And it's also, here's the thing that's quite interesting. We have 4 principles that governs our culture in C-Suite. And you mentioned the generosity, the service mentality of people in the C-suite. It's a very real thing. And I'm so honored that when I meet people for the first time or host them at one of our events, they'll say, I've never been in such a giving environment. I've never been asked, how I could be helped so much. And the principles that guard and guide our culture are relevancy. So come in, share, engage. Don't throw up your business card and make every conversation about you. Engage meaningfully. Reach. Great people come from great people. Here I am with you. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the great that you're doing, Barry, and the great that you are. And I'm so, that is such an incredible honor for me. And it's the same for all. If you think everyone who's good in your life that then leads you to another great person, it's literally the greatest gift you can give in terms of community and connection. And then reciprocity. And business, you have an ask. Have the give ready. But if anyone tells you not to ask, it's ludicrous. Nobody has time not to ask, and you're not in business if you don't have an ask. The thing is, how do you give? The 4th R is respect. And that I added after COVID. And it was, we'd gone through the political cycle. We went through the beginning of COVID, the complete shutdown, all of that. We never shut down. We never, ever stopped. We didn't miss a beat. We moved everything online, and we added more and more and more to support our leaders and our partners and so on. So there was that. And then there was the whole George Floyd murder and all the things that happened around George Floyd. And I realized our community had gone through so many things together. And there were these incredibly powerful, meaningful conversations. And why? Because of respect. Respect is given because of the quality of person you are, because of the quality of community we are. Trust is earned by the other person. So this became such an incredibly powerful unifying factor around who we are in the C-suite. You can agree to disagree. You can have incredible debate and conversation. You can have meaningful input with each other coming from completely different perspectives, views, and there's nothing we haven't spoken about in C-Suite Network. There are all different formats for different conversations, and it's just been such an incredible honor. But those values really carry through and mean so much in a community where we're striving and thriving toward being able to deliver that success.
So you just heard again, I want to emphasize the other C word in C-suite. We talked about capitalism. It's community. Community, and you'll notice something interesting about the wonderful word community. COMMUNITY. I can spell. Notice something amazing. The U in community comes before the I. And that's part of what you were talking about. When you are there to serve, and you, of course, you want to do business, and you want everybody to do business with you. You recognize first the you, the others, the I will always be taken care of. That's the genius of community. By the way, Tricia, I created an acronym for your name during the break. May I share it with you?
That would be wonderful, Barry.
Okay, TRICIA. Trustworthy, resilient, influential, creating inspiration always.
Oh, thank you, Barry. You know, it's I cannot tell you how honored I am to be part of this mission and to lead with so many incredible, inspiring leaders like yourself and so many others who are dedicated to seeing that success and to elevating and lifting, you know, everyone dedicated to seeing that success.
So let's put you on the spot. Think of one particular story that resonates with you of somebody that came to C-suite and either had a small business, a big business, doesn't matter, but he or she is flourishing. Is there something you can share with us, an anecdote?
You know, I started speaking about COVID a little earlier, so I'll keep going with that as a theme, because it's it's one that any of us who had that experience of leading through those early days will be able to relate to. We have hero leaders that are the founders of a company called Storebound. Evan and Rachel Dash are incredible leaders, and they joined the Hero Club several years ago. And when COVID happened, it was devastating for so many of us. And here's the thing about devastating. It can be a tremendous opportunity. C-Suite Network, we had planned to scale sort of digitally. The footprint that we laid down immediately was supposed to happen over the course of 3 years. That was our strat plan. And you can imagine 3 years, 3 months, you know, 3 weeks, same thing. So in their space, they manufacture and sell kitchenware product that is really intelligent. They're very famous for a single waffle iron, but the extension of their kitchenware line is just extraordinary. And now if you go look up any Dash appliances, you'll see it's brilliant and smart and colorful and fun. And they have this incredible community, and they do because of their leadership. And so during COVID, we immediately set up with our CEOs in Hero Club that we would meet every week. Now, we met 3 times a year, and I would do phone calls periodically in between. That was it. With what happened with COVID, we met every week, and we walked through what is everyone going through, because for CEOs, we had supply chain issues, we had employees. How do you get employees in and out of your buildings? How do you operate when your retailers are down? How do you operate when your vendors are down? There were so many things, so many challenges, so many things happening, and cash flow, people are crunched. So, not spending money. There are just so many different factors. And every week with them, we walked through what they were working on, everything from how they were managing employees and staffing, and the robotics of their showroom when they couldn't get their staff into the offices. And in the same time, they were in negotiation with a major investor. And truly, because of the tremendous leadership that they showed and the way that they pulled everyone together with that whole mission, purpose, the vision to really see success and bring the foodie community together, because, people were cooking at home again. All these kinds of amazing things, they literally had a more successful partner come into their business. And that has been extraordinary, and one that was laid out in such a way that to this day, it's been an extraordinary relationship and partnership, and their success has only continued to scale. And you can imagine that challenges continue. Right now, we have all kinds of different conversations about tariffs and all kinds of supply chain issues, etc.
Another T word. Okay.
Yep, the challenges never end. But do you have partners in place, and have you created a leadership in a shared mission? And it might be a major investor, it might be your shareholders, it might be your staff, your communities, etc., to be able to see success through those challenges. And so I love sharing that example, because that leadership matters, and they turned down other offers, other scenarios that weren't with the right fit. And again, that's another quality of incredible leadership, and having that support to say, no, this is something that is important. It is absolutely critical. And I will say, for both Evan and Rachel, when they heard what Hero Club's mission and vision and values were, this is what it's all about for them. And they're incredible people. It is wonderful to see wonderful humans succeed. And as I said, challenges too.
It's wonderful to see great humans succeed. That's the genius of C-suite, of capitalism, of community, of hero's journey. We're going to be right back on this brief message. Don't go away. Remember, we wouldn't have these sponsors. We didn't think they're worthy of your time and attention. Be right back with more Tricia after this brief message.
What if you could shop at your favorite local stores, swipe your current credit card, and get extra cashback rewards? And what if you could also have donations sent to your favorite cause at no extra cost to you? What if this amazing program was absolutely free and very simple to set up? Well, What If is here. Welcome to Einstein Cares, where your everyday shopping gives you and your favorite cause extra money. It's fast, it's easy, and effortless.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Be good-looking, God is looking for, and finding the good we found, good in abundance. Her name is Tricia Benn. She is the CEO of C-Suite. Man, we talk about a lot of C's. We got corporate, we have CEOs, we have capitalism, we have community, and we talked about transformation and challenges, the other C. There will always be challenges when you're in the business world. The genius of the situation is to not be alone. And that's, I think, one of the greatest parts of C-Suite, not being alone. So talk to us about this idea of what is this, the Heroes Club, as it were?
The Hero Club, Barry, is values-based CEOs, founders, investors. I always thumbnail it to lead with integrity, transparency, give back to our community, share in our success. And what it is the group that you can take your armor off and be real. We're all sold a bill of goods. You should. I detest the word balance when it comes to entrepreneurs and business owners. I understand it as a scientific concept, homeostasis, etc. But in an entrepreneur's life, it sets up failure. And I'm not one for setting up failure. I like using frameworks that empower, that see business leaders succeed. The one that I'm most fond of here in C-Suite Network, we use conditions of satisfaction. And the way that I coach the CEOs that I work with through that concept is that it's not just what your conditions of satisfaction are for success in your day or in your everyday, but that you literally can meet them every day. And so simple things like, I need to be healthy. This is every business leader. If they don't have their own health on the top of that list, it is a massive failure, because it is every day. We have to keep our health. It's the most critical thing. And I know your story right from the top Barry. It is, why we wake up in the morning with gratitude. We woke up. It is the greatest blessing and opportunity, and our health is critical. So if I said as my condition of satisfaction, I need to go to the gym every day, I would fail almost every single day. And I could say, oh, well, when I'm traveling, I'll make sure there's a gym at my hotel. I still would fail almost every single day. My condition of satisfaction is that I'm active every day. And so my personal goal is I try to get my 10,000 steps in one way or another, or I like to dance. There's a virtual reality game where you basically dance and exercise. Yes, I love that. It makes me active and engaged and healthy. So that's my outlet to make sure that I'm staying healthy and able to deliver on everything I'm doing, no matter what. I could be on vacation, I can be on work, I can be traveling, I can be at home. So that's a condition of satisfaction where I can see success. And I think so often as business leaders, we're coached in a way that is absolutely counter to us being able to be successful. That's why my podcast is called C-Suite Success with Tricia Benn. I want to empower everyone who has a mission of value to deliver success to others. I want to empower them to define what success is for themselves. And that's, again, aligned with C-Suite Network. We never define what success is for others. What we've done is we've built a platform to see people succeed. And I can talk about that in a minute. But my podcast, there are so many billions and billions, maybe trillions and trillions of ways of defining success. And that is entirely our choice and in our power, Barry. And that is incredible. That is exciting. And that's something where instead of using these icky judgments on ourselves and that it's out there, I'm not this, I'm not that, I didn't do this enough, I didn't do that enough. That's other people's definitions. And good luck to them if that's what their definition is. But
you can't succeed like that.
No, you cannot.
Okay, this is genius what you're hearing right now. Genius in the sense that not that Tricia is a genius, even though she is. You are touching genius because you're going to be able to bring this into your life. When we talk about the hero, I just created with your permission, an acronym for what a hero is based on what you started with, because you said with health. So a hero is somebody who's healthy, exuberant, resilient, and opportunistic.
Yes.
Hero.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, those are true things. And I think here's the other thing is you need a tool set to be successful. There are so many things as a business decision maker that are not set out to see you succeed. And again, we all know those different things in our own industries, in our own sectors, and so on. And we have an opportunity to bring things into the whole C-suite ecosystem, vet them, and create an opportunity that we're negotiating against the fact that we have a large community to see people succeed. So we have things like C-suite publishing. And C-suite publishing, if you need a book, we can do that very quickly. We can make sure that you're getting the asset that you need and it's doing the things you need it to do. And now you can get out and do what you want to be able to do with it. So we have 600 events. We have over 600 events a year now, Barry, that are C-suite labeled. This isn't, I mean, if I said how many we have with all of our members and partners events, it would be in the tens of thousands. This is just C-suite branded events. We have the 500 podcasters that we distribute. We have all of our TV content and so on. And all of these, and then so many more branded services and different things where we're elevating business leaders and their business model and saying, C-suite, we work with this. And this is something that you can use if it works for you and your model. And all of that build is under content, which drives community, which drives commerce. I throw in a fourth C. You'll appreciate this, Barry. A fourth C is counsel, real counsel, not advice. We always say that's what people give when they've never been there, never done it. Counsel is what you give when you've been there, you've done it, and you've got the wounds to show for it, right? And you're willing to share why something worked and why it didn't work. Because the reason something works for one person may be the exact reason It doesn't work for another person or another business model.
Tricia, I'm going to have to say these words. I love you. You are the definition of what you do. You're giving. You're here to support, to help. Now, I'm actually loath to say the words I'm about to say. However, we're coming to a close in our time together today. I have 3 quick questions for you, wonderful Tricia. You ready?
Yes.
Number 1, will you come back again?
Oh, it would be my absolute pleasure and honor, Barry. Thank you.
Woo! Wonderful. Number 2, Tricia Benn, you have only 80 seconds to answer this question. What is your most fervent desire?
My most fervent desire is to have maximum impact by seeing the success of the incredible business leaders out in the world.
The benefit of Tricia is she will succeed. Her fervent desire is being lived daily. It is wonderful. Number 3, may I give you a hug in front of 517,819 people around the world? Okay.
Barry, you know I'm a big hugger. This is
well, hug stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. Here we come. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Barry.
Remember, this show is not about Tricia, as wonderful as she is, or about Barry, that fabulous fellow. The show is about you. Y-O-U. That's why you tuned in. You tuned in because you care the most in the entire world about you. And that's great, because when you become the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. That's why you tuned into the joy of living, because we discussed the 3 fundamentals of life. Number 1, life. Your life has purpose, like you heard Tricia. Purpose-driven life, you go mad. Mad stands for make a difference, as she does. And all the people in C-suite, everybody can join in to this amazing community. And remember to use the 2 most important words in the English language 3 times a day. And you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Remember also, WWW, what a wonderful world. Smile, seeing miracles in life every day. Pardon me. Or as my wonderful niece says, seeing miracles in everyday life. Create the kind of world you want to live in. Causing rethinking. Listen to Tricia. Causing rethinking. Enabling all to excel. And remember to internalize, utilize, and leverage 6 most important words you'll ever learn. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond to any given situation, like COVID, in a matter of days, shifting the world. And then you can succeed because it's how you choose to respond. Use 4-letter words: love, life, hope, play, pray, free, give, swim, team, and tell the world to F you. Capital N, capital N. So after the show, you see your family and friends, point your finger, have a twinkle in your eye, a smile on your face, say, F you, everybody. Add capital N, capital N. So where'd you get that? Listen to Barry Shore. He had on Tricia. Wait till I tell you about all the things we learned. So a blessing from wonderful Tricia and Barry. Go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Tricia, don't go away, please.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.